Welcome back to the Greatness Blueprint. I'm your host, Luke Austin, and today we're going to dig into a crucial element of achieving greatness: building a greatness mindset. This is all about forming a mindset that not only weathers adversity, but uses it as fuel to reach your ultimate potential. Now, just last week, I faced a tough decision. Do I go on a spontaneous camping trip with my family, or do I stick to my podcasting schedule? Now, in hindsight, it sounds like a no brainer, but at the time, I was stressed. I ended up choosing the camping trip, and I'm so glad I did. It gave me the perfect backdrop to think about today's topic. How do we cultivate this greatness mindset, one that helps us navigate difficult decisions, make the most of these situations, and feel good about the paths we choose? So hang tight. Today I'm sharing personal stories, my top 5 tips for building a greatness mindset, and even have a challenge for all of us at the end of the episode. So get ready because episode 4 of the Greatness Blueprint starts now. So let's go back to the camping trip for a moment. Initially I struggled with the decision to, go camping or do I stay home and stay committed to my podcast schedule. I had even packed my podcast gear thinking, you know what, maybe since I couldn't do it here in town, I'll just shoot it in the mountains. I need to get this done. I'll just sneak off for a couple hours. Nobody will know I'm gone and I'll just shoot my podcast in the mountains. We arrived at the campsite past midnight, and, after picking up my excited daughter from school, the first thing she said was, "Dad, I'm so excited about going camping. I had some work to get done. We had to pack all of our camping gear. We had to get some groceries. We packed a cooler. It was just exhausting trying to get everything done and get out of town." However, we made it up to the campsite and, waking up the next morning in the mountains, in nature, sipping on coffee, sitting around the campfire, my daughter swinging in the hammock, just happy as can be. It brought me peace. I had missed my Friday podcast release, but there I was, worried about when I could sneak away and record the next episode instead of just allowing myself to be in the moment. And I realized I was being too hard on myself. The podcast could wait. There would be other opportunities, other days, but this precious moment with my family in the mountains, that was what truly mattered. Initially, I worried, I can't leave my listeners hanging. But my mindset shifted to I can make time for my family. And this shift was pivotal. And the lesson here is we can't always control the situations we find ourselves in, but we do have control over our reactions and our mindset in those moments. So instead of I can't, or I don't, or I didn't, we can shift it and reframe it to say I am, I can, and I will. Remember, we may not control every situation we find ourselves in, but we always have control over how we respond to them. Now, another quick story to cement the power of positive mindset and positive self talk. A couple of weeks ago, me and my daughter were sitting out on the back patio, and as a reminder, she's just 5 years old. And we had this little basketball hoop in our back patio, and we were taking turns shooting hoops. And she was standing about 10 feet away, just taking some shots, which was pretty decently far for her. And we were trading off making shots. And on her turn, she came up and started shooting. And she didn't make the first shot, didn't make the second shot, didn't make the third shot, not even the fourth shot, but she did not give up. She went so far as to turn to me and say, "I will not give up. I believe in myself." And I could not have been more proud of her. I think it took her maybe 20 more tries before she made the shot. But as soon as she made it, she said, "I knew I would make it." Woohoo! We should all take a lesson from a 5-year-old and apply it to our lives. Find that never give up mentality within yourself. It's all about building your greatness mindset. Now, let's shift gears a bit. I talked through a couple of personal stories, but I've also gained some valuable insights from various authors that have greatly influenced my thinking around greatness mindset. The first book I want to mention is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. This book emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment and letting go of past regrets and future anxieties. A key point that Tolle makes is that most human suffering stems from being disengaged from the present moment. A key quote, he says, "Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life." I'll read that quote one more time. Realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. And, thinking through that quote, have you ever missed out on a moment because you were too stressed about something that was going to happen in the future, or maybe wasn't going to happen at all, but you thought that there was potential it could. I know I've been in that situation and still struggle to stay present at times. It's so easy to get caught up in the anxieties or regrets that can derail you from the present moment. Nothing in the future is promised, so there's really no reason to be stressing about what could come to be. Focus on what you can do now and control now, and the future will take care of itself. Next, I want to share some insights from What to Say When You Talk to Yourself by Shad Helmstetter. And this book taught me the power of self talk and how it can greatly affect our outlook on life. Helmstetter's key insight is that most of us are programmed with negative self talk, which can limit our true potential. He encourages us to use affirmations and positive self talk to transform our lives. A key quote from this book from Shad is, "The more you talk to yourself in a positive way, the more you will believe it. And the more your life will unfold in alignment with your self talk." I'll read that one more time. The more you talk to yourself in a positive way, the more you will believe it. And the more your life will unfold in alignment with your self talk. I'll give you an example from just this week. I had a big presentation, and, as I've talked about in some earlier podcast episodes, I am not a fan of presenting in front of groups. And, the more I peel that onion back, the more I realize that I often tell myself, you're just not a good public speaker. It's this persona that has just persisted. And it goes all the way back to, I think, speech when I was in high school. And, it doesn't mean that I have to avoid nerves. They will always still be there. But recently, I've positioned my self talk in a different way. Instead, I say, you are going to get nervous, right? I'm going to get nervous in these presentations, but I am an expert. I know my stuff, and I will get through the nerves and deliver an awesome presentation. And that little shift in self talk has paid dividends. The last book that I want to cover today is Unleash Yourself by Gary John Bishop. And this is a book that has challenged me to be brutally honest with myself and take action, even when it feels uncomfortable. And if you haven't read this book, I highly recommend it. I actually listened to it on Audible on a long car ride, and the author is the one who actually reads the story himself. He has a really cool Irish accent, and I feel like that adds to the overall message of the book. And the author underscores the importance of taking responsibility for our lives and not allowing negative self talk to sabotage us. He says, the moment you accept total responsibility for everything in your life is the moment you claim the power to change anything in your life. In another key quote, he says, you are wired to win. Your mind is built to overcome and adapt to anything. It's just waiting for you to catch up. I'll read that one more time. You are wired to win. Your mind is built to overcome and adapt to anything. It's just waiting for you to catch up. This quote hit home for me. Roughly a year ago, I was honestly out of shape. I was tired. I was stressed. I was not doing very much to take action over my health. And I realized that I was starting to have trouble carrying my daughter around, right? And it scared me, right? Am I getting that far out of shape that I'm not going to be able to carry my daughter when she's 5 years old? How could this be, right? She's only 35 pounds. And that kicked me into gear. I took ownership of my health again. I had to be brutally honest with myself. I was less than I could be, and I was the only person who could get myself back in gear. I signed up for an unlimited monthly membership at Orange Theory. It's a popular high intensity interval training workout class, and started going 4 to 5 times a week and did that for 6 months straight. At my peak, I ended up running a 6-minute mile, something that I had not done since I was a senior in high school. I had taken ownership, put in the work, was able to reframe my mindset to refocus on being great. Now, these 3 books have offered me valuable tactics for managing mindset and shifting my perspective, but knowing these tactics is one thing. It's quite another to put them into practice. And that's where the real challenge lies. So to help make these learnings actionable, I've put together my 5 top tips to building a greatness mindset. First is practice positive affirmations. Positive affirmations can replace negative self-talk and help you build your self-confidence and a positive outlook. They prime your mind for success and are most effective when they're specific, personal, and stated in the present tense. So earlier this week, before I went into my presentation, I sat in a room for a little bit. I was talking to myself saying, I am going to rock this presentation. I'm going to rock this presentation. And just speaking to myself in that tone helped me go into that presentation feeling confident. Second is set clear goals and acknowledge completion of those goals. So having clear goals gives you direction and purpose, leading to a more positive and focused mindset. And then celebrating these small wins and acknowledging completion of those tasks can help boost your confidence and really create momentum towards those bigger goals. The third tip is embrace positive relationships. Now, positive relationships can really uplift you and foster a positive mindset. So instead of surrounding yourself with people who are negative, find people who are supportive, optimistic, and encourage positive self talk and can give you strength during difficult times. And with these positive relationships, practice gratitude for them, right? As greatness can rarely be achieved alone. The fourth tip is challenge negative thoughts. Being aware of your own negative thoughts and challenging the validity of those can significantly improve your mindset. This practice, often used in cognitive behavioral therapy, helps to reframe those negative thoughts and some of those unhelpful thinking patterns. The fifth and final tip is practice self compassion. Knowing that you're not going to be perfect, there's going to be bumps along the road. Be kind and understanding to yourself. There's going to be pain, there's going to be failure, but instead of being harshly critical, look at those moments as learning opportunities, and it helps you cope with those adversities in a more gentle and sustainable way. Now, as I promised at the beginning of this episode, here is the challenge for all of us. For the next week, let's keep a mindset journal. Doesn't have to be an actual journal, it could even just be your notes app on your phone. Every day, dedicate a few minutes to reflect on your self talk, specifically focusing on instances where maybe you found yourself sliding into negativity. Write these down, and next to each one, write how you could rephrase it positively. For example, if you wrote, I can't finish this project on time, flip it to, I can prioritize my tasks to ensure this project gets done on time. At the end of the week, review your journal. Reflect on the number of instances you were able to turn negative self talk into positive and how this exercise impacted your mindset and feelings. I'd love to hear about your experiences with this challenge, so please share them with me on social media, or you can email me at luke@greatness-blueprint.com. The goal here is to give you a concrete task to complete, providing really a visual representation of your progress and encourage you to consciously work on shifting your mindset every day. To wrap this up, remember that building a greatness mindset is an ongoing journey that we're all on together. We all have the power to shape our thoughts and actions. And together, we've explored personal experiences, insights from inspiring authors, and practical tips to build a greatness mindset. Now let's take on the challenge. Let's embrace positive self talk together. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. Each step, no matter how small, is a victory. So be patient, consistent, and stay positive. I'm eager to hear about your experiences with the Mindset Journal Challenge. We're in this together, so let's share our journeys, our struggles, and our victories. Thank you for being a part of the Greatness Blueprint journey today. Stay on your path, stay inspired, and above all, stay great. We'll see you soon.